Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel. Bit disappointed to have to make this video, but I'm going to tell you a little story, okay? With the details as best as I know them and as best as I can explain them. It's a little bit to do with a Hilux, it's a little bit to do with a 1KD, it's a little bit to do with some injectors, it's a little bit to do with someone in Tasmania, which is part of Australia, and a workshop there. Now at this stage we're not going to name or shame anyone, but it's very disappointing as I understand it. So, had a client contact me for the first time, I'd estimate probably about a month ago now, I'd guess. I'm taking a guess here. I haven't looked at any dates or anything, just had a few text messages and a few phone calls, possibly maybe yesterday or the day before, and again this afternoon. And it's really disappointing, to be honest, and I want to do something to help this guy, so I'm going to do everything I can, and maybe that includes sharing the story so you guys understand some of the things that can happen if you're not careful. And I'm not sure if there's anything we can do to help him. So the first request is, if there's anyone in Tassie, up the north end of Tassie, that has got a good mechanical technician or someone that's done their own injectors that can possibly help, is one request perhaps. What's happened is Craig's contacted me to, and I'm just going to use first names, there's plenty of Craig's around. Craig's contacted me to purchase injectors. As far as I knew, it was a normal injector replacement job, so we supplied the kit as we do. And I note that he had someone that he thought was going to be pretty good for the job, and I'm not sure if I spoke to the guy. I may have even spoken to him, I can't remember, it's been a little while. I talked to a lot of people, and if it worked out, it may have even been someone that we possibly would even mention for other people to get work done in Tassie, because obviously small place, I'm sure there's plenty of people that know how to change injectors, but we don't know who they are. They're not putting their hand up, so we need people to put their hand up. Doesn't matter where you are in Australia, if you think you can get this job done right. So even if we're not recommending you, we can perhaps mention you, that people can give you a try, but the truth is going to come out. Okay, so Craig's got his injector kit. Happy days, you know, really awesome, happy with that part of the service. And he's gone to his technician, his mechanic, his grease monkey, his butcher, whatever it is, and it's all bad news from there, unfortunately. Now the vehicle has been with this person at a workshop, I think up the north end of Tassie from memory. Could have got this part wrong. Like I said, I haven't checked all my facts yet, but to the best I know, the guy's had the car for over 2 weeks, and Craig's having a bit of a stressful time, obviously trying to see, you know, keep on track of what is and isn't going on with the car and the works that are supposedly getting done. I got a lot of messages there, I can't remember everything, but it seems to have been a few problems. Now, as I said, when the purchase was made, it seemed like a normal injector replacement job. Now it seems as though it had a cracked piston in the first place. Now, so if it didn't get a cracked piston while it was there, which would be pretty hard to do, it must have already had a cracked piston, which is why I asked the question, was the vehicle running okay? Well, the vehicle was running okay until it wasn't running okay, and there's tow trucks involved. It's certainly been removed from that workshop on a tow truck back home. At this stage is where the story's at, and unfortunately Craig had to borrow the money to get this work done. No fault of his own, it's the circumstances, the way it is. He's had to borrow the money to purchase the injectors and get the works done. Now, this person at the workshop has charged him. Okay, so we've supplied the parts kit, all the parts that are required, probably the molly coat and the ultra grey or whatever as well. So basically, other than a few skills or watching my videos and some basic tools and a torque wrench, a lot of people could complete this job correctly. For $2,500 labour, he's put a set of injectors into an engine that's got a cracked piston. In my opinion, and I've got a little bit of experience with this, I've been around for decades, anybody working in the automotive industry should have an idea if an engine's got a problem, if it's not running well, if it's running rough, blowing smoke, these sorts of things. Diagnosis needs to be completed before you throw a set of injectors at it, even if the customer's supplied them. Okay, if it's running rough, I believe that most of you guys watching my videos would be able to tell. I'm sorry if the picture's blurry or whatever, I'm not even looking at it, I'm just talking. It's more of a, you've got to get the story, okay? I'm just on the way home from another job where I was helping train some people working on Prados. So, and this is what's transpired this afternoon as I understand it. So, $2.5 grand to put a set of injectors into a dead engine. Okay, now, sometimes you can have engine problems where the engine's not running like this one is, where it, you know, it's hard to tell. So I get that, you know, within reason, I understand. Sometimes you can do compression tests and valve clearance checks and inspections with a camera and everything looks okay. And you've still got an engine problem, like for example one that if you've had a blocked oil pickup and there's slowly done some damage from oil starvation, you can't always pick that up, okay? It will look okay when it's not. Unfortunately, it's very rare, but that can happen. With this one, it seems to me, from my understanding, that it was running like it had a cracked piston, and you guys know what that's like, you know, rocking around violently. You take the cap off the oil, off the engine, you know, chuff, 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 which 90% of you people watching this video, I'm sure, have got a fair idea what that looks like. We've got a couple of videos on that, right? There's one that goes for only about 11 seconds, okay? So if you want to find that one, have a look so you know what it looks like. If you have an engine that looks like that, you don't put a set of injectors in it. At the most work you're going to do on an engine like that, you're going to go, right, okay, we've got the parts, that's good, awesome. At the moment, they're all brand new, and you know what? For the right person, if it turns out that you didn't need them, I don't want to make any promises because they're sensitive parts, and unless they're sealed and looked after, I can't guarantee refunds or full refunds. I need to know, you know what I mean? They're sensitive parts. Once you've got them and you've unpacked them particularly, and if you've installed them, you know, it's not looking good. So it's kind of a waste of money on the parts if they've been installed into a dirty old engine by a butcher. But the worst part of it is, if it's running like that, and you did a basic compression test, you're going to find no compression on one of the cylinders, and no need to open up any of those parts until you need them. And if you've got no compression, you don't need injectors, you need an engine. At this point in time, it's probably only a couple hundred or a few $100s to strip it down to do a compression test. It doesn't need to go back together. I would suggest, look, if someone came to me and they thought they had a cracked piston, I'm going to confirm it by looking at it. I'm going to confirm it by looking on the scan tool. It's not going to cost you more than $100-150 doing that. And we're going to be 99%, I'm going to leave it at 99% to cover myself, the 1%. You want to be 100% sure? Okay, we'll go to the next step, we'll do a compression test. Injectors out and a compression test. It's going to cost you about $300, I think is a fair price, that amount of labour. You know, more or less, give or take, thereabouts, anything that's fair. Craig could have been in and out of there with a compression test, going, oh, what do I do now? Okay, it's a rebuild. Okay, I'm going to use the injectors anyway. Or we're going to get a new long motor that comes with injectors. Can I have a refund, mate? Do you mind? Or we'll work something out, right? Once a fool, an absolute fool that shouldn't be working on motor vehicles has installed the injectors, they're basically wasted. Maybe not completely, but until I've got them in my hand, it can't be trusted. They've at least got to be sold to someone that's prepared to take a slight risk. Who's going to put their hand up for that? I'll be looking in the comments. I'm not sure if this video is going to go on YouTube or if it's just going to stay on the VIP group or if it's just going to go to Craig for approval first. It'll certainly go to Craig first. So Craig, if I didn't say it at the start of the video, I don't think I did. This is for your eyes only at the moment. And if you're happy, I will release it to the VIP group. I'll release it across YouTube. There's going to be a lot more of this if anybody else is caught butchering vehicles. It's not acceptable. Now, this is what needs to happen. This business needs to immediately refund the labour since you've done the wrong thing. It's a complete waste of money. Unfortunately for you, you've spent your time, but you know what? You did the wrong thing. Perhaps you should have watched the videos in the VIP group and got yourself educated. DIYs do this and understand this better. I'm being as nice as I can. You've made a big mistake. Immediately, you need to refund the $2,500. I've seen the invoice, guys. Thank you for that, Craig. It needs to be immediately refunded. I'll be checking with Craig to see if this has happened or not. I believe, not only at my recommendation, at common sense, Craig will be taking this to small claims, and you will be refunding that and a lot more. You can do it the easy way or the hard way. Do some training. Make sure you know what you're doing before you work on motor vehicles. Okay? This is exactly the sort of thing that can't be happening. It's just not good enough. First step, please refund the $2,500 labour for butchering, wasting time. Then, no, we don't want you to touch the car again. We've seen enough, unfortunately. We need someone to remove the injectors. Unfortunately for Craig, he's not in a situation where he's able to do this. Is there someone else around that I've supplied an injector kit to in Tassie? Please text me. I can provide more details on the area Craig's at. We need to get the injectors and etc. related parts out of the engine. Look, you know, they need to be capped off and put safely aside. Okay? They may be used, they may not be. We need either an engine rebuild or a new engine by the sounds of it. This needs to be confirmed first. We need a compression test. Has anyone got one of the dummy injectors and a compression tester that can run a quick compression test on this engine? Trying to help Craig out here, okay? He's been scammed. Not his fault. It's probably his kind nature, where he trusted the guy and paid the money up front. The story about the end of financial year, right? Okay? My warning to anybody watching this video is, and you know what, I'd like to put it on YouTube, okay? This happens too often. I don't know if it's always this bad. There's probably things that are worse than this as well. You should not need to pay labour charges up front, okay? Now, sometimes things happen. I just want to cover it for the technicians and the workshops that are there. Sometimes things do happen that change the game. Real game changers where, I don't know, you're working on the vehicle and something happens and it's not your fault, okay? So this isn't one of those stories, and you just need to be, don't think because it's happened this time, it happens all the time. So it can be a case of somebody's working on the car and a wheel stud snaps. Look, somebody else worked on it before, over-tightened it, stretched it, and the guy that's undoing it or went to refit it on this brake check or brake change or whatever it might be, he's the unlucky one that ends up with the result of years of over-tightening wheel nuts. I'm just giving you an example. So it's not always the case, but I've got a fair few facts at hand. And if the vehicle was running like that, and I might even see if I can include a video. I do have a video of it. If I can save it, I apologise for the quality if it's not right, but I'm going to try and attach the video to this video and some photos of the vehicle going on the tow truck this afternoon, and anything else that I might get before I put this video together to show you. Please be aware where you take your vehicle, and people like this are not helping the industry. This is why I do what I do. So this is what we're going to do for Craig. We're going to try and get him his money back. There's not going to be a problem with that. It's either going to be the easy way or the hard way. That'll be coming back. I'd love to have sealed parts that we could just on forward to the next guy and refund him his money for his parts, because he doesn't need those. He needs a new long motor, really. If need be, we can get the car over here on a boat, hopefully for not too much. There's ways of doing that, okay? If the reason of the cracked piston. There's reasons why that may have happened that may be covered, and there may be people that watch this video that care. If you care, I'm prepared to put some money into this myself. I'm going to be putting time into it, and I'm prepared to put some money into it and some more time. If it ends up the vehicle has to come to Victoria and we've got to help out and put an engine in it, it needs to be funded. Okay, we need to pay for the engine. I've got some people that might help me out putting the engine in. Okay, whether it's a discounted rate or free, I'm not sure of the details at the moment. I'm just thinking ahead, step by step. I'd like to help Craig. It's not fair what's happened to Craig and his vehicle. Okay, it's not fair what happened in the first place, the cracked piston. Any of you guys from Toyota watching that want to provide an engine, or provide an engine at the right price, if there's anyone that deserves it, I believe it's Craig. Seems like a really nice guy, and he's been completely shafted again. Craig, I think this is enough information for everyone for now. Let me know what you think about this video, if at this stage you're happy for it to go on YouTube, or whether you're happy for me to just release it privately into the VIP group. Guys, we're here to help. If there's any other stories like this, we do want to hear about it. We want to help as much as we can. I believe we've got some really good people in the group, some people that can afford. Look, we've got a cracked piston fund, okay? We've got a small amount of money there to cover an engine. The idea of the fund is people donate to it. The money sits there. And in a situation where someone ends up with a cracked piston where they've done the right things, we use that money to replace the engine, okay? It's not insurance. We slangily call it insurance. This is not about that, but I will actually ask the members of that fund if they want to contribute. I wouldn't suggest using all of it. Maybe we contribute some of it to Craig's problem. But I don't know that we need to do that at this stage. First things first, unfortunately, Craig, it's going to be a slow process. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen. Okay, we'll do what we can for you. First, I want to say to, without naming anyone, not even the first name, is how nice we're being. It's a workshop in Tassie. $2,500 up front. Didn't need to be charged up front. You've done the wrong thing. And $2.5 grand labour to change a set of injectors after causing him the pain of following up with you for over 2 weeks is not the right thing to do, okay? If you were removing the manifold and all this sort of works, it still wouldn't be 2.5 grand. But let's just say, okay, you're good and you're expensive and it is 2.5 grand. You haven't done the right thing anyway. You didn't take the manifold off. It sounds like you've done very little. Nothing to help solve the problem. You need to refund the whole $2,500 ASAP, and do not take it out on Craig. Craig is the victim here. You've done the wrong thing. Suck it up and refund the money. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you got something out of this and you think we're doing the right thing, give us a thumbs up. There's going to be more information like this, and our usual information is helping you understand and repair your motor vehicle. If you like that, subscribe. If you think we've earned it, don't forget to turn the bell on so you don't miss the next important video. And I'll be looking in the comments for anybody's ideas or feedback, anything that you think might be able to help Craig in any way whatsoever. We'll be looking at the comments there. Thanks for watching. And Craig, just relax, mate. It's what it is. We will sort it out. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.